Typically, as a nutritionist, I would have put you on 2 or 3 months of mineral supplementation, but EFT, 5 minutes.
People on the outside, they look at some of the things we do as miracles, and I'm not really a miracle worker at all, or, it's just the body will tend to heal itself if its energies are allowed to flow. The biggest thing that blocks that flow of energy is how emotional issues and past traumas are held in the body.
So we're getting to the core. That's why you can use it for everything.
Addiction issues.
Shame issues.
Vision issues.
Chronic fatigue. Fear of flying.
Atrial fibrillation.
Cravings.
Diabetes. Diverticulitis.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Abundance.
It's easy to lose weight.
Public speaking.
Insomnia.
Performing in any capacity.
You can go from zero desire to hot and ready.
My romantic life got better, and
For the first time, I can probably say I truly and genuinely like myself, love myself, have acceptance.
People ask me what kind of antidepressants I'm on, and I say EFT.
I do believe anything is possible now because I've seen it. One that was really fun to do was the vision experiment I did. 75% had an improvement in their vision. I keep getting emails from people, by the way, Carol, I'm not using my glasses to look at the piano music anymore.
EFT is the best thing I found, hands down.
One of the great things about EFT is it's easy to learn by anyone.
EFT gave me the tools to cure myself.
And now I probably have seen over 2,000 clients of every walk of life on every imaginable problem with about a 98%, maybe 99% success rate. And it's not me, it's EFT.
I thought, well, I don't know if I believe this, but what if I just suspended my disbelief?
Well, the manual is a free download on our website because I want the world to know how to do it. Do you want more than that?
If you could just tell our viewers a little bit about the emotional freedom technique and how it works with the energy.
Okay, basically, there's a lot of modalities for releasing energy. And basically what EFT does is we're all familiar, or most people I would think are familiar with the conscious and the subconscious. The subconscious is really what runs us. And so what is interesting and what a lot of people don't understand is, you've heard of like subliminal tapes. And a lot of times you play them at night before you go to sleep. Well, that's because when you are going into sleep and coming out of sleep, it's sort of like that twilight where you're kind of awake and still kind of asleep. You're going through the theta phase. I'm sure in your profession you're familiar with the theta phase. Well, one thing that fascinated me was up until you were 6 years old, that's the phase that you live in, that theta phase, which means that subconsciously you are taking everything in. And so all of that is what is, it's like you're the computer, and all of the stuff that your subconscious is taking in is all the software that you're programming into this computer. And that's what's running you. You're driving down the street, you're talking to your friend, or you're deep in thought, or you're talking on the phone. Unfortunately, a lot of people do. You shouldn't. But all of a sudden you look around and you think, where am I? And then you recognize where you are, and it's like, well, how did I get here? That's your subconscious driving you.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And so basically what EFT does is, you're actually tapping on the meridian points. It's the same thing as acupuncture. And what that's doing is it's not only balancing the energy, but it's also releasing that energy. It's like a circuit breaker. If you have an overload in your house and that switch breaks,
right,
and it stops the flow of electricity in your house because it's on overload.
Exactly.
Well, that's what's happening, because we're taking in 20 million stimuli a second. And so we start to become overloaded, and we start to have these energy blocks. And basically what the EFT does when you're tapping on the meridian points, it's like flipping that switch and allowing that energy to flow again.
Wow, that sounds really good. We're going to do a demo in a little while, and I get to be the guinea pig today, so I'm pretty excited about that. And Alexis, you talked about how, when we're young, especially when you're younger, I know in hypnosis and hypnotherapy, how we talk about it is it's pre-critical faculty. before we get that filtering system where we actually get to choose what we're going to say yes to or not. So, and usually that's before we're, 7 to 10, somewhere before there. So when you're talking about, we say that the programming that happens are usually in the form of a belief. So an event would happen, we create a belief. If we make up or accept or decide it's a negative event, then the belief would be negative. The energy would have to be expressed from that belief, which would be negative energy with a negative outcome. So when you talk about the subconscious mind in terms of way back then in the programming and the software, how does that, we're going for a belief. What are you actually looking for when you're looking for that software, that programming that somebody has?
Well, EFT can be used for a lot of things. They've done a lot of work with soldiers who have been in war with PTSD, and they have found that they're able to release the PTSD. You can use this for, like, a lot of people with their weight. If you're familiar with kinesiology,
Absolutely.
Muscle testing with the arm and whatever, it's called psychological reverse. If you do a muscle testing and you put your hand this way, then your muscles are strong. That's a positive current. If you turn your hand the opposite way, your muscles will weaken because that's a negative current. And it's like putting the batteries in backwards. in something. So if you say someone says, I want to lose weight, and you do a muscle test on them and they say, I want to lose weight, the majority of the people, their arm will go down a little bit. And then you have them say, I don't want to lose weight, I want to keep my weight. It makes them stronger. And that's the psychological reversal, because your subconscious thinks that it's protecting you. There is a reason that subconscious wants to keep that weight on. My husband, for example, is a smoker. Now he's gone from, we've been working with him with EFT, he's gone from 2 packs of cigarettes a day down to 10. Wow. But what we found with working on him was eventually we got that the reason that he didn't want to smoke, when we did the muscle test, no, I don't want to quit smoking. Smoking dulls the senses. It also dulls the pain. It just gives you a higher pain threshold. And so subconsciously, he didn't want to quit smoking. He has, he's going to have back surgery, so he's always in pain right now. He doesn't want to quit smoking because subconsciously, he knows that he's probably going to feel more pain.
And the subconscious mind, I know we've said this on the show before, always wants to move from pain to pleasure. So
Yes.
if he's in pain and the smoking brings just a little bit of pleasure, it becomes one of the best friends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what I'm hearing, Alexis, is that it's really not necessary for you to find that belief. It doesn't really matter what they made up when they were 7 or accepted or decided. The energy just needs to be released, and so you start with that and just... Great, that's excellent.
I'll tell you what's interesting, though. What begins to happen is you might start off tapping with someone who wants to lose weight. And as they're tapping, though, because you're starting to release energies, you're starting to open doors. And so all of a sudden, it's like, oh, wow, I remember a time when. So you tap on that. And then maybe another memory comes up, and you tap on that. Or, like for my husband, I don't really think this stuff works. My husband's the Missouri Show Me State. And I said, okay, well, let's tap on not believing that this can really work.
Excellent.
So you can take it on whatever level that you want, but eventually it's like pulling that little, if you have something that's knitted, and you pull that little string and it starts to unravel. That's what EFT does.
That psychic hairball.
Yeah.
Unraveling that psychic hairball.
I think it's fun. I mean, I really do. I think it's fun.
Well, I've done it. I've had a little EFT done on me, and I've actually done it from, the manual on the website. There's a great website for this created by Gary Craig, and it's www.emofree.com. He gives you a whole downloaded manual with all the steps, diagrams. It's in color, so you could actually take this and run with it. And you don't have to be a medical doctor to do it. One thing that you made a really good point a minute ago. It's if you have a physical or a medical issue, go see a doctor first. I know Brandy and I have said this about every modality that we bring onto the show. go see a doctor first, have it checked out, and then use this as another modality to heal. There's been instantaneous healing with EFT. I've read great stories about it. I've heard great stories. I've experienced amazing things with EFT. So